PwC reports projects that Nigeria's TV revenue market will hit $806 million in 2020, while it's estimated that in 2021 it will grow to 838 million and 871 this year, 2022, and then next year, 903. You see that growth there. Well, a bulk of this revenue should come from production, reality shows. You have Big Brother Nigeria, Real Housewives of Lagos. That's like the new rave now. And of course, we have the usual content which we all enjoy during our relaxation period. Job creation goes beyond the cast, the crew. It goes to advertising, marketing companies, and a whole lot more. But really, how lucrative is this business and how sustainable is it? Well, we have two ladies to discuss that. I'm glad to have two ladies with me. We have Grace Edwin Okon joining us in the studio. She's the producer of Pepper Soup. I like that one. You do. Yeah. She's the producer of Pepper Soup and a whole lot more. And then we have one of the talents of Real Housewives of Lagos, Choma Ikoku, joining us virtually. You know her more as Choma Good Hair. Hi, Choma. Good to see you.
Hi, lovely to be here.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to everyone.
Happy Easter, Grace.
Happy Easter to you too.
So, I mean, at times like this, I mean, you guys are in, because people are at home, they just want to relax. But give us a little bit of, you're a producer, you've been in there, you are the background, you do a lot of back work and all that. Take us through, you saw the projection of PwC going from 800 to 831 to 900 for next year. Tell us a little bit about the growth in the industry.
Okay, so dating back to when I started, this was in the 90s, our industry wasn't contributing so much to the GDP of Nigeria. But as at maybe 2020 or 2019, thereabouts, you know, we shot up. First of all, when our quantities increased and we became the second largest content supplier in the world.
I think that also came with the rebasing. Yes.
Giving credit to Nollywood. You know, we became known and everyone became interested in what we're doing here in Nigeria. And, you know, after the World Economic Summit some time ago and all that, Nigeria, in fact, Nollywood was one of the major players to the economic sector of Nigeria and what we do here in Nigeria. So it's been a great, the chart has gone up, the graph has gone up, and it's still going up. Now we have music. Outside of the Nollywood industry, we have music coming in, we have the reality shows coming in. Even though the reality shows started way back, but people wouldn't realize that it has started a long time ago.
Perhaps it wasn't called reality show.
Yes, the people like Charlie Boy. I don't know if you'd remember Candid Camera way back. It had started a long time ago, but it hadn't taken on the strength it has as at today. I think because of the way the West took on Big Brother over there, took on so many reality shows, Kardashians and things like that, it now filtered here, and then now people have accepted reality shows, and it's now a huge market. It's a huge business.
Let's talk to Choma about that reality show, since we see her face on Real Housewives of Lagos. Choma, well, just before we go there, how real is this reality show? Some people say it's actually an acting reality show.
I promise you, everything that you see on the Real Housewives of Lagos is 100% reality. There's not an atom of this show that is scripted. The most script you'll get is, okay, everybody come together, we're meeting at 7 p.m. at so-and-so location. But what you do when you get there is entirely up to you. How you act, how you project yourself, that is on you, and it's absolute reality.
All right, so you heard Grace, she talked about the growth so far, and now it seems Nigerians are catching up, you know, with reality show. Give us a little bit of background of how you think Nigerians were convinced to accept, you know, or how much acceptance you have among Nigerians when we're talking of reality shows.
So I think, first of all, naturally, most people have been used to like Nollywood and movies. But if you look at the rest of the world and the platforms that are now taking over from television, so you have Netflix, Showmax, Hulu, they focus mainly on like series and shows and just like reality television. I think people have moved past that level of seeing like, a perfect looking actor, a perfect looking actress and a scripted movie, which we all know is fiction and not reality. Now people want to see people that they can relate to. They want to see people that have lives that mirror they want to see people that have lives that mirror their own lives. People that basically like their reality can match their reality, so they can actually learn from these people, take things home from them. And so the jump from fiction to reality is one that you cannot understate it. And of course, yes, Nigerians, sometimes we are behind, but we're fully catching up. As Grace said, we've had Big Brother. Even some of the Big Brother contestants have come out and had their own reality shows, which have done really, really well. And so the Real Housewives of Lagos is pretty much a welcome sort of like addition to the reality TV family in Nigeria. I mean, it's an international franchise, but of course now there's the Nigerian version, which is such a big deal for Africa, by the way.
Yeah, we would like to talk about the business of it, but we'll come back to that. Let's talk to Grace now. There are a lot of talents. I mean, in your pepper soup, we have, I mean, just like you and I are seated here, we're just two, but there are tens of other people who are making this production possible. You have the camera people, you have the people in the master control room, you have the web and all of that. Give us a little bit, I mean, for some of us we know, but give us a little bit of background, the talents, the job creation that each production brings, to the economy when we see one maybe TV show or movie that we're watching.
It is huge. Using my company, for example, when I want to make a film, a short film, feature film, whatever, documentaries, I hire about 50 people. This is cast and crew, and I pay these people. And these people feed their families, So that's just me, who is a very tiny business owner in the scope, in the larger framework. You probably don't, a lot of people don't realize how much work goes on behind the cameras. Like we're here right now, I know the number of people that are walking around me right now. There's just so much to do. It's not only the faces you see on the screen. You see, you have from the script to all the way to the technical guys, to the administration, to the accountants. It's a whole lot. Because of this, in the last 7 years, the World Bank has been interested in the entertainment sector in Nigeria. I have personally been a beneficiary of some of the things the World Bank is doing here.
Some grants?
Yes. Trying to get involved in the sector, trying to see how they can, help out and create more jobs. Because at the beginning, way back, nobody was helping us. We were on our own, we're self-funding. It was really tough. But now we have the international world coming in. Currently, we have a lot of skills acquisition programs funded by international organizations and even the federal government, trying to see how the entertainment industry can even grow bigger than what it is today. If you want to have a reality show, there's no how. You'd have at least 100 crew members. Why? Because, for example, if you're following her show, Choma's show, for example, on each character, you'd have a full production unit, starting from the cameramen to the sound guys, the light guys. It's a whole lot. And then if you have like 5 or 7 or 10 casts, then that is in numbers. You have several people on that same show. And then you have people on the advertising side who are also making money. You have the staff in the advertising companies who are also making money from, all of this content that we're producing.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask you how lucrative, because I do know that equipment, for instance, are very expensive in our profession.
Yes.
You talk of a camera, you know how many millions you want to talk. And then even if you don't own it, you want to rent it, it's a lot of money and it counts every hour.
Yes.
We want to do post-production. You get the ENG editor, you get the machine. It's huge. So how lucrative really is it? Or you're just doing it for the passion?
Passion.
Not even now that diesel is about 750 naira.
I mean, if you're in post-production right now, because I just finished editing a film, you would almost bleed financially. Why? Because you're running, there's no power supply right now in the country. There's no power supply. So you are dependent on, supplying yourself power. And you're running generators back to back. When you're rendering a film, it takes hours. I'm talking 48 hours or maybe even more. And you cannot stop at any point, because if you stop, you're starting all over again. So, it's a whole lot. It's very expensive. However, yes, I mean, we would not be here. I have been in this. I've been in this for almost 24 years. I would not be here.
So you must be making money for you to stay.
Maybe, I think so.
Let's find out from Choba. Choba, how much money are you making from this reality show, Housewives of Lagos, and all? How much? So we know if we can come to your house.
So we're making a lot of money naturally just by being a cast of a show that is so big. We get paid well, but also you get endorsements. So after the show starts to air, companies are looking in, they're interested in you with your newfound fame and popularity. Companies come, they want to use you to advertise. So you do make money if you're smart, definitely.
If you're smart.
But give us some insight into, I know Grace mentioned it, how if you have 10 cast, you have about maybe 5 crew going with, one cast and all that. Give us an insight into the job creation or some of, the line, looking at the downline of bringing this reality show to the screen.
Okay, so she's right. For each cast member, we need to have our own crew following us around, just pretty much like filming. And sometimes we film simultaneously. So at each point in time, there's at least 100 people working, and that's from the crew. Obviously, cast members, we're not that many, we're about 6, but of course, we get paid well. So that's money being made. Now, for every time we're not filming in our homes or our businesses, we're filming either at a restaurant or on the beach or some event venue. Those companies obviously have to be paid in order for us to use their locations. So they're making money. Also, as Grace mentioned, when it comes to marketing, I don't know if you've seen the sort of marketing that's gone into the Real Housewives of Lagos, but I don't think there's any billboard that you'll see in Lagos that our faces are not plastered all over. Even on Bordelon, literally that entire stretch, you see the Real Housewives of Lagos back to back to back. So obviously, marketing, advertising, every single person in that field will basically get paid as well. So in terms of job creation, I think it's doing an amazing job for the economy. As Grace said, there's a lot of interest now from banks, from government institutions. Everybody wants to invest in entertainment. They're ready to give out loans and grants. Companies are willing to pump funds into entertainment. I think there was such a huge turn during COVID because obviously people were stuck at home. Some people couldn't even work. So what did people turn to? Entertainment. And ever since then, it's just skyrocketed.
So are you guys looking at bringing in new, fresh blood, new skills, any plan? Or do I just wake up, maybe my daughter has an interest, sees Choma and says, oh, I want to be like Choma, and so she goes into acting or into reality show? Or is there an intentional effort, to get maybe even producers, even more than the cast, into the fold?
So there definitely is. And I think that, a lot of the time with Nigerians are scared. They're almost afraid to jump in. They don't know what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. Like, for instance, I'm a lawyer, but getting into entertainment as a lawyer was almost seen as a taboo in the first place. I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm the CEO of Good Hair Limited and Brass and Copper Lifestyle, which is a hair salon and a restaurant, respectively. But in Nigeria, a lawyer going into hospitality, it's like, how do you marry the two? But after I did it, so many people started to do it afterwards, meaning that I inspired a lot of young women, a lot of young girls to also understand that, yes, you can have your profession, you can have your degree, you can even practice, but you can also do other things as well alongside this degree. So it's kind of like the same thing with reality TV and entertainment. Even me going on a reality show like Real Housewives of Lagos, I know how many people bashed me at the start. They were like, why would you do a show like this? You're such a professional, you're this, you're that. But I was like, you know what? It is the future, and yes, I want people to look into my life. I want people to learn from me. I want to inspire young girls. It doesn't always have to be ghetto or drama. Sometimes you can actually encourage, because half the time I'm filming in my office. I'm actually filming at Good Hair or, having a meeting with one of my, legal colleagues or something. So people can see that and learn and understand that, you can actually follow your career and also do it in the entertainment industry. It works. And in terms of jobs, you have, so say for instance, the cast. Now that season 1 has finished, season 2, they're going to bring like maybe 2 or 3 or 4 more people. They're definitely going to need more people to film. They're going to need more line producers. They're going to need more series producers. We're going to use more restaurants. So it's a trickle down effect, and it just continues to expand and expand.
All right, Chioma. Well, Grace, I know some time ago you talked about skills. I think you had some workshop, or because for people like you need a lot of camera, and you need professionals. You want script writers, you want people who are really good. Because, I mean, before now, one of the reasons given for not embracing our movies was the quality of it. So you talk of directing, you talk of the production, you talk of skills, the lines and the delivery of it. So from your perspective or from your area now, do you have intentional efforts to get the creative people who are naturally talented, who are interested? So at least you can have, a lot of skills in the area.
Okay, I run a film school. And that came about because while I work, a lot of people send messages on social media. Oh, Auntie, please, I want to act. Auntie, please, I want to work with you. I want to learn how to do this or do that and all that. So, I just knew that I needed to do something like that to help the next generation. Because as I may be young, but I'm old. I'm old in the industry.
I don't see gray.
No, I mean in the industry.
I know.
Yes, I mean, some people even call me a veteran at this stage. They love young budding talents out there. They love young people who have so much to give in the industry. And then they're interestingly, even older people, for example, some people start their careers when they're 40 or 50. They never knew they had the talents until later in life, late bloomers. So people just can get into the industry, but it is really difficult. Let me be honest. It's not a walk in the park. You have to somehow have people to help you or someone to guide you or show you the ropes or whatever. So I do know that there's a gap. How to get into the industry is one problem. And then it's not just learning the skills, it's also using the skills to make money, to earn a living.
Not just doing it for passion, because you could get frustrated.
Yes, because a lot of actors, for example, they work for a number of years and they don't blow. They don't become famous and popular and all that. So it can get stressful. But if you do know how to go about it, you would make money, you become...
So how do I go about it?
Okay, so... the informal way is actually...
I'm saying that to say that, don't you think that the industry leaders and people like you who have been there in a long time, shouldn't you find a way to bridge that gap so that the young or the late bloomers, as you call them, they now realize, oh, this is where I should be. It's easy for them to climb into it or find their way into the industry.
Yeah, so like you said earlier, that production is expensive. So not everyone can actually become a producer, because even if you have to rent equipment a day, for example, you'll be spending close to like 150,000 for a full gear. And then you have to spend a number of days. Just calculate it. If you do not
So you don't have time to really put people who are learning on the job? We
do help people. We do. But how many people can you have on your sets, for example? So now with the new skills acquisition centers and things, Lagos State government, the federal government, a lot of people are already setting up some of these organizations to help bring in so many people. But it's not just leaving them with the training, it's also empowering them.
Yeah.
So we kind of find ways to help them and say, you know what, you can do this. You can become a vlogger. You can go on YouTube and become a channel owner and even start your own reality show, for example, or be a social media sensation and make money from social media.
And then from there, you can now go into the main industry. All right, Grace Edwin Okon, producer of Pepper Soup and so many other movies. Thank you so much for gracing our show. Grace for gracing our show. And we have Chioma, who joined us virtually. Chioma Ikoko, you know her more as Chioma Goodhair, one of the cast of Lagos, Real Housewives of Lagos. Thank you so much, Chioma, for sharing your Easter morning with us.
Thank you.